All right, Joe here at Joe's Gym. This is going to be the rep range for more intermediate. For optimal muscle hypertrophy, you've been at this, you can really, activate muscles. You can do a chest press while retracting your scapula and retracting your traps into the pad and not activating your front delts on a chest press. That's your true test of if you can activate muscles correctly. Watch the section on chest press and chest movements throughout this website to learn more about that. So again, you've already done that. You're through that part. This is where you really need to start upping the weight, where your max, whatever your max is, weight-wise for muscle failure at the positive motion is really no more than 10, maybe 12. This is where I think you really need to start getting into an active warm-up where I pick a weight. Let's say it's 100 pounds. And let's say my cadence is 1, 2. I'm able to do a good controlled positive followed by a 3 or 4 second controlled negative. And my cadence is, 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, kind of start slowing down. I'm going to set it down. So I didn't take it to failure. I flirted with it. I started slowing down. The muscle was really getting fatigued. I'm going to call that a warm-up. Most people would call that a working set. I'm going to call it a warm-up. I'm going to set the weight down. Okay, I did 100 pounds. I started slowing down at 8, which means I probably could have got 10, maybe 11. If all got crazy, maybe 12. I'm going to make a mental note that said, you know what? I got the right weight. Then I'm going to go in and I'm going to hit all out everything I got into this, or I'm going to do one more warm-up. You know what? Let me just hit another warm-up, get around 8, right? Till it starts, right when it slows down, I'm going to take a second. Again, confirm that I picked the right weight. Again, this would be where Dorian Yates, Mike Menser, those type of guys said this is where they did their warm-ups, everybody hears that those guys did one all-out set, and it's like, well, they did more than one set. They did build-up sets to their one all-out set, because the thought process behind that is if I'm just doing 4 sets of 10, those first sets I'm not even taking that serious. You're going to put all of your emphasis, your time and energy into that last set anyways. Why call it just from a mentality standpoint, if you think a scarcity aspect, scarcity meaning I only got one shot of doing this, like the Eminem song or something, right? If I only got one shot, I got one all-out set to do this, I better make sure that I'm putting everything I got into it. So again, those first ones, kind of treat them as a warm-up, where I'm not going all out, but dang it, I'm coming close. And then that all-out set means someone's got a gun to your head. They got a gun to your favorite pet's head or whatever, right? Sorry for the description here. But the mentality thought process behind this. This is for really, really, really wanting to get that absolute optimal muscle hypertrophy. Because Dorian Yates said this. Again, give credit where credit's due. Dorian said he put into every rep as if someone had a gun to his head, and he said if you don't go all out, the gun's, again, trigger's getting pulled, right? So meaning everything you got into it. Again, now if you got a training partner, just because I can't push it, I've hit 10 and it's stuck, it's not going anywhere. Training partner lifts it up, let's go the negative. Again, watch the aspect on muscle failure, right? Just because I can't push it doesn't mean I can't lower it down, right? So that all-out set means everything I got into it until it falls on me, negative failure. If I'm by myself or with a workout partner, doesn't matter. You can incorporate your drop sets at this point. I don't even count drop sets. I'm just going to go until I can't push it anymore. I'm going to lower it. I'm going to do a drop set. I'm going to go till I can't, lower it, do a drop set. Go till I can't, lower it, do a drop set until the muscle is done, right? It's kicked over the cliff. It's hit failure. There is nothing left in it. How do you know if there's nothing left? Intuition. You know that you know that you know that you took that sucker to failure. This is not for your beginner. Again, your body is not ready. It's not acclimated to the typical soreness. But when you've been doing this, you have to shock that muscle. You got to hit it, and you have to communicate to that muscle that you want it, you need it, and you're commanding that sucker to grow and get a result. Male, female, I don't care. Muscle growth is going to happen for the same reason. So get into it. Hit that muscle failure range. Drive as hard as you can. And again, have that motivation, have that drive in your head that you're doing that one all-out, everything you have into a set, but you're building up to it. So again, when I say incline chest press, build up to it. Do 1, 2, 3 different warm-up sets to just get yourself ready for that one all-out set to negative failure if you got a workout partner. If you don't, or if you do, doesn't matter. Drop sets can still be incorporated. I do drop sets even though I take them to failure, and I'll take them through failure all the way through drop sets as well too. So again, this is one of those trial and errors. As you're doing it, learn it. But I don't think you should be doing 4 sets of 10. I don't believe it. Because the reason is, if I tell my body, again, 4 sets of 10 is a guideline, not a commandment. Meaning, if I successfully do 4 sets of 10, well, I got my little workout sheet here. It says do 4 sets of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And all I'm focused on is hitting 10. 1, your muscle can't count and your muscle can't read. It doesn't know. It just knows tension. It just knows stress. Dorian Yates said it again. Muscle growth is an adaptation to a stress. You're adapting to a stress that it's given. So if I do 10, take a break. Most will take a break, go to the mirror, hit a selfie, update Facebook, whatever. They're in their set number 2, 8, 9, 10. Okay, they take another break, go get a drink, go, BS with their buddy over in the corner, whatever. Now it's set number 3, 8, 9, 10, 4. Now they're really at it, but they still do 10. And they successfully completed 4 sets of 10. I just communicated to my muscle, congratulations, you did exactly what I asked you to do. And if it's doing exactly what we ask it to do, the communication is, there's no reason for it to change. There's no reason for it to grow. But if I communicate failure, if I communicate you didn't do what I asked, I pushed you past what you were capable of doing, that is, again, the adaptation to a stress. Progressive overload over time. If I'm communicating failure, I'm going up in weight. I'm going up in weight. I'm going up in weight. Progressive overload over time, reaching muscle failure. The body has to respond to that stress, and therefore it has to adapt, which is going to respond with the right proper nutrition, the proper recovery, and it's going to grow. And then you're going to grow from there, and you're going to grow from there, and then you're going to up the weight, and then you're going to up the weight. And everything's going to progress from there because we're communicating failure. It's like we want to become a failure at the gym in a good way. It's like I joke, but it's like I want to put on my shirts, I became a failure at Joe's gym. We leave the doors a failure. We took things to muscle failure so that the muscle, when it comes back, it says, okay, let's do this again. We repaired ourselves, we rested, we had the proper nutrition. Now it's time to grow. So again, this is kind of your intermediate to expert. This is really where you need to get to really hit that next level, especially if you're stagnant, especially if you've hit a plateau. This was me. This is what got me over my absolute frustrated poor. I hit like an 8-year plateau, guys. It was literally 8 years where I'm like, I'm not growing. I'm not getting any results. Like, what's going on? I kept reading more and reading more. And finally someone just said, you're not communicating failure. You got to go. You got to hit it. You got to go hard. Communicate absolute, utter failure. And that's when I really, really turned the table for my progress, my physical look, packing on muscle. And matter of fact, really what is known as Joe's Gym was from that specific concept. So again, get into that aspect of pushing past failure. Get into your rep range of, again, a few warm-ups and one all-out set. But again, don't just come in and do one set. Warm up to it, where most people would call those working sets, like most people in the gym. But then everything you have into it, you know, rain or shine, whatever, everything you got into that one all-out set and just watch these games happen.